the word out of him in his lifetime, so.
Call the meeting to order and stand for the pledge. Okay, first we will take a motion to approve the consent agenda, which includes the council minutes from June 3rd and June 10th, community center minutes from June 11th, the EDA minutes from June 9th, Housing and Redevelopment Committee from June 11th, Library Board June 10th, Planning Commission June 10th, Telecom Commission May 19th, and there is also an amplification permit from the American Lutheran Church set for July 13th for an outdoor worship, an exempt gambling permit for the St. Francis Xavier Church for September 21st for bingo and raffle, and a solicitation permit for Matthew Steffen that is door-to-door meeting people and prospecting new clients as part of his new journey with Edward Jones, and also the regular bills. So if there's no questions, corrections, concerns, we'll take a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make the motion to accept.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Jim, second by Scott. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carries. Next up, department heads. If we have anyone that would like to speak that isn't further down on the agenda.
Kari Hansen, Library. I just wanted to update you. We've had a wonderful turnout for our summer reading program, where all ages have been coming in. And on last Friday, we had the Zoom in up at Highland, and we had about 140 people show up for that. So a very good showing, very entertaining. So we've been busy.
Thank you, Kari. Is there any other department heads that want to speak now? Okay. Next up, we have a resolution accepting a donation to the Windom Library from the Friends of the Library. And the library has some awesome friends because there is a donation in the amount of $1,688.28 from the Friends of the Library for the Windom Public Library, and the donor requests that the donation be used for the purchase of STEM learning materials and the summer reading program. So that is a really awesome contribution from the Friends of the Library. So we will take a motion to introduce the resolution accepting the donation to the Windom Library from the Friends of the Library.
I'll introduce the resolution.
I'll second.
Introduced by Dennis, second by Jenny, and we'll take a roll call.
Nelson.
Yeah.
Sherman. Benson.
Yes.
Quaid.
Yes.
Esplin.
Perfect. That is introduced, and we will have to send our thanks to the Friends of the Library. That is really cool. Next is a resolution awarding a bid for the Airport 2025 Taxi Lane Widening Project. And Steve, I will hand that to you.
Okay, thank you. So as part of our annual capital plan, we've got some federal dollars for work at the airport. This was a bid to do some taxiway improvements, seal coating, crack filling, things like that. Our airport consultants, SEH Engineering, had prepared the plans and specs and sent out the advertisements for bids. There was one bidder, which was Svoda Excavating. The bid in the packet, it's $172,875. That has been shown to the FAA and MnDOT, Aviation Division, and they are okay with the dollar amount for the project. So we are requesting that the council approve this project. It's, I believe it's 90% federally funded, 5 state, 5 city. And we have the money budgeted in the airport budget to cover that.
I'll make,
I'll second.
So the resolution has been introduced by Jim, second by Jenny, and we'll take a roll call.
I'll have to abstain from voting. Manager.
Okay. Sherman, Esplin, Nelson,
yes,
Quaid,
Yes.
and abstention from Benson.
All right, that resolution is introduced and approved. Moving on, we've got the Planning Commission recommendation to authorize the preparation of an ordinance, a study and moratorium on the new billboard applications. Matt Fast, we'll hand that off to you.
I think we skipped number 5.
Oh, I'm sorry. You want to just hang out for a second? Sorry, I was getting a little ahead of myself, all those resolutions.
That's
and I
okay,
skipped
Mayor.
one. Sorry.
We appreciate the brevity.
Yeah, I was just trying to hammer through it. Okay, next we actually have a resolution approving plans and specifications and ordering advertisement for bids for the 2025 street improvement project. And in the packet, we had an alley improvements packet submitted by DGR Engineering, project manual. And Steve, would you like to further explain this to us?
Council, you had embarked on a 2025 street project, which was the repaving of a number of blocks of alley. We've gone through the feasibility study, which was done with this. The council had the notification to the property owners. The public hearing was held. You approved preparing plans and specifications. Those plans and specifications have now since been completed and submitted to the city. And then this would approve those plans as submitted and then call for bids. This project will go out to public bid. And so just with the timing, you'll probably see the bid award at your first meeting in July.
Okay.
I would introduce this resolution.
I'll second it.
Resolution has been introduced by Jenny and second by Scott. If there's nothing further, we'll take a roll call.
Okay. Quaid,
Yes.
Esplin,
Yes.
Nelson,
yes,
Sherman, Benson.
Yes.
All right, resolution approved. And now we're on to the Planning Commission recommendation on the study and moratorium new billboard applications. And Matt Fast, we'll hand that to you.
Matt Fast, Building and Zoning. Following the recent review of applications for new billboards in Windom, the public response and council actions, a suggestion had been made by one of the planning commissioners to review the city code provisions on billboards. City Administrator Nasby had suggested the possibility of a moratorium on acceptance of new conditional use permits for billboards for a period of time. Building and zoning staff contacted City Attorney Ron Schrammel, and he advised that the city could adopt such a moratorium. However, state statutes set forth the procedure, which includes adoption of an ordinance. At our meeting on June 10th, the Planning Commission discussed this matter. Following the discussion, the Planning Commission adopted the following motion: to prepare a proposed ordinance authorizing a study of existing billboard provisions in city code for potential revisions and establishing a 6-month moratorium on the consideration of the conditional use permit applications for billboards to allow time for said actions. This proposed ordinance would be reviewed by the city attorney and planning commission and then come before the city council for review and the 2 required readings. If this ordinance is adopted, the moratorium would allow time for a review of city code provisions concerning the billboards, research of other cities' codes, preparation of a draft ordinance with proposed revisions for this city code, and review of this proposed ordinance by the city attorney, planning commission, Minnesota Commissioner of Transportation, and the city council. Excuse me. There should be no fiscal impact for the city to authorize this preparation of the ordinance, authorizing the study and moratorium on new conditional use permit applications for billboards. And we would ask the council approve a motion authorizing building and zoning staff to prepare an ordinance authorizing a study of existing billboard provisions in the city code for potential revisions, and 2, establishing a 6-month moratorium on the acceptance and consideration of conditional use permit applications for billboards to allow time for said actions.
I'll make a motion to what he just said.
What he said.
Yeah, the action would be to approve the crafting of an ordinance for a moratorium on billboards to review our city code, essentially.
Correct, yes.
So the motion is made by Scott and second by Jim. Is there any discussion?
Yes, so this is just saying that for the next 6 months, you wouldn't be accepting any applications
So
for,
this, Councilmember Quaid, this would just be to, once the ordinance comes in front of you. So right now, this would put a hold on it while you're in the process, and then once the ordinance is approved, assuming it's approved, that would put that 6-month halt to it.
okay, so right now people could,
No, right now, this would put that actually on hold until you get through this process. So if you came in today and applied for a billboard permit, that would be put on hold as this ordinance is in motion. So if in a month, when you have first reading, second reading, and publication, if that ordinance passes, it would still be on hold. If the ordinance did not pass, then that application would be processed.
okay. So really, if somebody applies for a building or a billboard, it's technically on hold right now as this goes on. And then if this would pass, it would be on hold for a 6-month moratorium, maybe, if this goes through, while the study would be going. So it could be longer than 6 months. Okay, I'm just making sure I'm understanding this. And then during that time, then that you'd be reviewing and studying other cities and the city code, and our city attorney would be looking into this to then to make sure that we're reviewing and knowing exactly what the standards and what we have for what the standards would be for our city code, so that we're up to date with whatever everybody else has out there because of the applications and things we've had going recently, and looking at to make sure we're up to date on everything. And
Correct.
okay.
Is there any further discussion or any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Okay, next up, land lease agreement with the Windom Police Department. And we'll hear from Scott Peterson, Chief of Police.
Scott Peterson, Chief of Police. In front of you, you have a land lease agreement allowing the city to use the property of John Ketzenberg for the purposes of a firing range. This is something we've looked at for quite a while. One of the things it does is allows us proximity to the city limits so that all of us can be a part of training, whereas currently going out to the gun club, we have to leave somebody in the city of Windom. The other thing is it allows our people to train while they're working if they choose to. They're within proximity to the city of Windom. They can respond to a radio call should they be needed. And that's why we pursued what we did. I want to give thanks to Steve for putting together this agreement, and also the oversight of Ron Trammell as far as saying that it's legal and that there's no conflict of interest or anything. So with that being said, I'll take any questions you might have.
Any questions from anybody? Sounds like that'll be pretty handy to get everybody.
Yes, we're pretty excited about it, and it's going to be close, and it builds team building. We are able to do that and train with everybody together. So that's something that we're very excited about.
And this would just be for your force and stuff. I mean, the sheriff couldn't use it, or couldn't they use it too, or?
That would be something that they would have to take up with John. What we wanted to do is make sure that this was done legally, that we meet legal requirements, protect him from liability, also protect the city from liability. If somebody else were to pursue that, they would probably have to go through the same parameters we did. But we wanted to make sure this was done legally, and we're grateful to have this available to us.
Anything else from anyone? Is this a call for action? Do we need a motion to?
A motion to approve the lease would be in order.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve the order for the land lease for Windom PD.
I'll second.
motion made by Scott and second by Jim to approve the land lease agreement with the Windom Police Department. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Oppose? Motion carries. Thank you, Scott. Next up, Community Center, decorative wall. And we will hear from Tim Snyder, Community Center Director.
Tim Snyder, Community Center Director. Before you, we have an action item recommending awarding the bid for the patio wall backdrop to Master Stone and Landscaping at a cost of $9,600. This is the kind of the final step for this year, anyways, of kind of finishing the patio up. Due to some unsightly sight lines that we have off the patio, this will enhance kind of for our wedding venue a little bit more. And Matt was up today and took a look at it, and I think he's going to be able to get in with the new fencing that just got installed. So we're hoping you guys will approve this bid and we can continue on.
And it looks like the funds here all come from the buyer's donation with, let's see there, and the Daisy Jacobs donation?
Bob Byers.
Bob
Yep,
Byers.
Yep, Daisy did the first part of it. That was erecting the big patio structure in concrete. Yes, I forgot that again. These funds are coming from the Bob Byers donation that he gave to the community center, and we're trying to think what's the best way and where we can show our appreciation for what we've done with that money up at the community center.
Is that pretty much the end of the buyer's money then, or?
No, we still
more
have
available?
some available
Good.
for some other projects we're kind of looking at this point.
I'll make the motion to accept.
Second it.
Motion made by Jim and second by Scott to approve the community center project for the decorative wall. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Tim. Next up is the declaration of surplus equipment, Riverbend liquor sign, and we'll hear from John Nelson.
John Nelson, liquor store manager. So behind our store, we have the large pole sign. On that sign, there's two Daktronics GS6 80 by 150 EMCs that are attached to that pole, and then the pylon pole along with the sign on top. So last winter, our Daktronics sign had a hard drive go out on it. So I reached out to Scenic Sign Corp, who we deal with on that, to look at potential fixes for the sign. The installation of a new hard drive had a cost of around $5,100. With that, we also looked at, the sign was installed in 2017, and they typically have about a 10-year lifespan on it. So we're reaching that end of its useful life. So we also looked into the potential costs of a new Daktronic sign put onto the pole, and those costs range from $52,000 to $70,000. So with that, I had discussion with the Liquor Commission, and from there, we made a decision to declare the sign as surplus and not replace the digital sign at this time. This item will be, with approval here, will be posted for public sealed bid. They'll include the removal up to the highest bidder. So the second part of it is that last winter as well, wind had damaged the south-facing plastic piece on the Riverbend side. So when you come driving north, you can kind of see the Riverbend sign. That was damaged. There's a small hole in there. We did put a property damage claim in with the League of Minnesota Cities. Replacement for both signs so that they match is a cost of about $11,850. The insurance would cover about 60% of that due to only one side of the sign being damaged. So once again, discussion with the Liquor Commission, and it resulted in removal of the entire pylon off the property. Since when we finished up the remodel project, we put that new LED channel letters on the back of the building, which is a good replacement. So with approval, I'll work with our local newspaper to get an ad out in there, set it in the MMBA newsletter to see if anyone's interested, put it out on our Facebook page, that all sealed bids would have to be into City Hall by July 18th at 4 p.m. And then recommendation to approve the sale to the highest bidder on each of those items.
So do we need two separate motions for this? No, just one. Okay.
I'll make a motion to have the sign declared as declaration of surplus equipment for Riverbend Liquor Store sign.
I'll second.
Motion made by Scott and second by Dennis to declare the Riverbend Liquor signs, the two Daktronics, and the Pylon Riverbend Liquor sign as surplus and list them for sale to the highest sealed bidder. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, John, and you're just going to stay sitting there as we get to the next note, aren't you? Next up is personnel hiring recommendations, and we'll hear from John Nelson at Riverbend Liquor on a union part-time and a non-union part-time hire.
So the last few weeks, we've had some turnover in staff. I've had multiple staff leave us. And so back on June 2nd, an internal and external job posting was posted for the union position. During that time, there's a 5-day window for internal transfers, and we had no applications for that. We did get a total of 12 applications during this time. A few more rolled in here these last few days too, but I did complete 6 interviews between last Friday and through yesterday. Upon completion of those interviews, it is my recommendation to hire Chelsea Stevens as a union part-time assistant liquor store clerk at a wage of $16.26. Upon successful completion of her 6-month probationary period, she would be approved for an additional step increase at that time.
I'll make a motion to accept the application for Chelsea Stevens.
I'll second.
Motion by Scott, second by Jenny. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And then one more. Have at it.
All right, so the second action memo is to approve 2 individuals as non-union part-time liquor store clerks. So during this whole time, we also had 2 non-union liquor store clerks resign. So what we did, and we've had good luck with it in the past, is with the one advertisement, using them and offering and explaining the differences between the union position and the non-union position, and asking if they were comfortable with a non-union position, if not offered a union position. All of them were interested. Out of the candidates that I interviewed, it is my recommendation to hire both Ryan Taylor and Connie Lubin at a rate of $13.75, which is in accordance with the wage scale for seasonal and part-time employees. Both of these would start this week. Connie is currently a bartender with the community center, and she was one that kind of came along to our department this last week to help with some open shifts during some rough times. So
I'll make a motion to go ahead and hire Ryan Taylor and Connie Lubin.
I'll second.
Motion made by Scott, second by Jenny, to approve the 2 non-union part-time liquor store clerks, Ryan Taylor and Connie Lubin, at $13.75 each. Is there any discussion? Hearing
With-
none? Oh, I'm sorry.
With Connie leaving, is she leaving the community center, or is that good? Okay.
she is not. She can work both positions, and it doesn't affect anything that she does there. Here would be at the liquor store or there. We would have to monitor her hours in accordance with the union contract so that she doesn't meet those requirements to bump up into that, which I do not think will be any problem in the future, so. And I have had those discussions with Tim as well this week, so.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you. It'll be nice to be full staffed again.
Thank you, John. Next, we'll hear from Kari Hansen at the library on a union part-time position.
So the library has had an opening for a library assistant due to a staff resignation that we had in April. We advertised for the position and interviewed the candidates who fulfilled the job requirements. It is my recommendation to hire Wendy Newman at a step 3 rate of $21.08. This wage is in accordance with the union part-time wage scale.
I'll make the recommendation to hire the part-time person for the library.
I'll second.
Motion made by Scott and second by Jenny to hire Wendy Newman for the IBEW Union Part-Time Library Assistant at $21.08 an hour. Is there any discussion?
How soon is she able to start? Does it say?
She has a few commitments with her current position that take her, there's like 3 weeks, the last week of July and the first 2 of August, that she's not able to be with us, but I'm hoping to get her in for some training. She has experience in a public library setting and a school library, so I think training will go pretty quick for her, but I want to have her come in, and so hopefully by, the middle of August, end of August, we'll have her on board.
Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Kari. Next, we've got the hiring recommendations for the EDA director, and Jason Sherman is the personnel chair, and he is absent tonight, so Steve will go over this with us.
Thank you. Memo in the packet As you know, Tiffany Lamb, our former EDA director, resigned in April, and the advertisements had gone out. We had 10 applicants for the position. The hiring committee, which was the council's personnel committee, made up of the mayor, Councilmember Quaid, Councilmember Sherman, Tom Reardon is a representative of the Utility Commission, and then Nancy Weplow, who's the president of the EDA board. They looked through the applications, selected 4 for interviews. Those 4 candidates were interviewed, and at the end of the conclusion of the interviews, they are making a recommendation to you to hire Sonia Wilt. Sonia has a background. She's been and currently is a small business owner. She has also worked for a municipality as a finance director, so she had a good background in TIFs and how they operate, how the funding all flows through economic development authorities, and had some work on a housing project that was done in the community that she was serving. And so Sonia was offered the position. The salary and employment terms are listed on the next page. We're requesting to start at step 6 on the supervisory scale, which is just our midpoint due to her years of experience in municipalities and as a professional business owner. And then step 7 at the end of the 6th month. And so everything else is according to policy. She'll start with vacation accruals and sick leave, things like that. So we're looking forward to having her coming on board. We've got her start date as on or before the 7th of July. She had some things to wrap up. She was formerly from South Dakota and had a home out there she was doing some work on and wanted to get that fixed up. She is living outside of the community at this time, but the commission or the hiring committee and Sonia discussed that a little bit during one of the questions, and she would be looking to move into at least our immediate area. So and her lease, I think, is where she's at, runs through August, she said. So we'll be kind of looking at that a little bit later this summer. So I think those are the things I had. If Councilmember Quaid or Mayor have anything else to add?
No, I guess, I think during the interview, it seemed like she would be a good fit for our community. Seemed like she would be an outgoing, personable person. I look forward to her joining us and getting out and meeting everyone. So hopefully we will have her on board and have a good fit here in our community.
Yeah, really looking forward to an EDA back in the building and working on the job, and have high hopes that it goes well. So
Did somebody say we had some land for sale?
I actually did suggest the lakefront property, that was, a beautiful property to.
No, I'll make the recommendation to accept Sonia for the EDA director's position.
I'll second.
Motion made by Scott, second by Jenny to approve the hiring of EDA Director Sonia Wilt. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And I am just like hammering to get through this meeting tonight, and I'm hearing Jenny letting me know I'm skipping things, but not until I'm like already through it. So with that, we're gonna go back a step to seasonal employees for the summer park and rec programs that,
I don't believe that there's a memo in the packet on that. I don't think Tim got that in. So I think, what's that?
it is, well, here, yeah, we do have it.
Oh, you do, okay.
Yep. So the staff recommends it's at City
Page.
Council, page 64.
Okay, this is my 64 is EDA.
Oh. Yeah. Well, it's in my,
Oh, okay.
so staff recommends that the City Council take the following action regarding the hiring of the following recreation employees for the 2025 season. And Soren Nielsen and Maddie Buckentine are listed as new hires, and the money is budgeted to pay the wages of seasonal employees of the summer recreation season. So with that, we'll take a motion to approve the hiring of Soren Nielsen and Maddie Buckentine for the summer rec for the 2025 season.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion made by Jenny, second by Scott. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, are we all on number 11 now? Employee recognition program updates? Wonderful. Steve, I will hand that off to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is just an update. We have an employee recognition program that we've had in place since 2012. So I just kind of looked through it. It's been 13 years since we started this. We have an annual recognition of employees hitting their work anniversaries, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years, et cetera. And so what I did is I went through the appreciation policy that council had previously adopted and just updated it. It said that the employee appreciation event will take place the second quarter of each calendar year. I figured we just maybe want a little flexibility on that. So I just took out the second quarter. And then I looked at the amounts. We haven't adjusted that of the kind of the recognition gift for somebody of a t-shirt, coffee mug, plaque, clock, etc. We hadn't changed that. And as I was going through and getting the things for this year, I had seen how much inflation has taken hold in the last 12 years and figured we should up the dollar amounts a little bit. So I upped the dollar amounts a little bit by the same percentage all the way across the board. And then I did take out or gift certificate because as a gift certificate ends up being taxable by IRS statutes, and it's also counted as compensation, so we'd have to negotiate it and bargain it, and I didn't see any point in that. So, so I just brought this up to you for approval. We've had a budget of $2,500. We've had really no problem staying under that, but as this policy will probably be in place for a decade or a number of years after I'm retired, I wanted to give them a little bump and the ability to go up to $3,000 to spend. So that is my recommendation to you to update the employee recognition program policy.
I'll make a motion to update the employee recommendation program updates.
I will second, and I am impressed that Steve would actually up that a little, the dollar amount a little bit.
Motion made by Scott and second by Jenny to approve the employee recognition program updates. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Steve. Is there any new business that anyone has? Hearing none. Any old business aside from, it looks like we need to set a date for the remaining facilities tour. Steve, can you remind me what those are?
We talked about that at the last regular meeting, that you were to look for some dates. So we've got liquor store, community center, arena, and pool. And then I believe you were gonna do the hospital tour that's on the 19th, kind of on your own. So, but those are the 4 other city facilities that we were going to visit. So I guess I'm just still looking for a date that would work for you, or if you want to, again, try knocking, maybe one out after, subsequent council meetings, but we never know how long we're going to go, so it's kind of a challenge to get those lined up, so.
Just a quick question, being the pool shut down, do we need to do the pool?
I think you should. Go see what some of the flood damage was. We may have some more FEMA information by that time, and so you can see it firsthand. That's certainly up to you. You don't have to go do that, but we took you through the basement in this building and some
we
other
did.
interesting places on the tour. So, but I think the pool probably would be good so that you have firsthand knowledge when
And
we're
now that you
talking with
mention it that
FEMA.
way, yeah,
I think it would be
agree,
good.
yeah.
Does anyone have any dates or ideas they want to throw out with all of us?
Why not the 24th after that meeting?
Yeah, we've got council meetings every Tuesday in June, so maybe in July. Want to do an off Tuesday in July, we could do that, or if you want to do another day, that's fine. July is a 5 Tuesday month, by the way. If you're jonesing for something to do on a Tuesday night.
Be plenty warm, so I don't know.
The second Tuesday is the 8th. So you have meetings on the 1st and the 15th, and then the 8th, the 22nd, and 29th are open.
Does anyone have any particular feelings about the 8th, the 22nd, or the 29th in July?
If it's raining, you'll be front and center. A couple of them are indoors, so we're good.
The 8th is a conflict for you, and maybe anything after that for a little bit?
Schedule for whatever, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, I probably wouldn't be free till the end of the month if I am, so you could just go ahead and schedule whatever works for you guys.
If the liquor manager keep his office clean that long, we could postpone this,
Oh, is it clean right now?
allegedly.
So, like, we need to come tomorrow?
I'll go check.
So, what's that? In July? The 29th, you're thinking? Scott's thinking the 29th of July? Does that seem reasonable? And what time?
You pick a time. If you want to start right at 5, we could knock some of those out. Or if you want to start at 5:30 or 6, that's fine too, because it'll stay late, so.
Does 5 work for everyone? 5 o'clock?
Okay, 5 o'clock.
All right, we'll set that last of the facilities tour for July 29th, beginning at 5 p.m.
But don't tell the liquor store manager, we'll check it out.
Okay. Okay. So I need motion to set a special meeting for that day, please.
I'll make a motion to set for a special meeting on July 29th for a tour at 5 o'clock.
I'll second.
Motion made by Scott, second by Jenny. Is there any discussion?
Thank you.
Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next up, we have council comments. And start on this end. Jim, do you have any council comments?
Oh, I'd like to thank the Friends of the Library, and I wish I had a friend like that. So, and if I ever see a dog bouncing around out there it better be a police dog training, not a pheasant hunter. So, that's about all I have.
Dennis, do you have anything tonight? Nothing. Jenny, do you have anything tonight?
I'm just gonna say the Riverfest parade definitely was memorable, and I wish that Councilmember Sherman and Esplin would have been there to join in the fun that we had. You sure missed out on a good time and a nice shower. And then just to remind the public that the new medical building open house is this Thursday at 2:30. So if you want to see the big 4 floors of the medical building that was built out at the Windom Area Health this Thursday at 2:30. Meet us out there and check that out. And then, yes, the Friends of the Library, thank you very much for your donation. And I would just make a suggestion to all the department heads, find some friends like the Friends of the Library. I think every department should have friends like that. So however the library managed that, we need friends of every department.
Okay, first of all, I want to say thank you for everybody that had their fingers in the Riverfest or had anything to do with Riverfest. The department heads, everybody came out in force and did a great job. I want to thank you guys for that. For the citizens that came out and participated, I want to thank you guys for that. And on the other hand, I want to say, okay, the people that are complaining about this, now this is my own personal problem with this because I am a volunteer of the city of Windom. I'm an ambassador of the Chamber of Commerce. If you can't complain about something that's doing the citizens, or everybody's doing for the city of Windom, why pick on this one? Because it was a lot of free stuff that happened. Yes, everything didn't go great. If you want an apology, I'll be the one to apologize. I'm sorry, it didn't work out great for everybody. But for the stuff that did work out great, it was a good thing for the city of Windom. It brought people together. It brought friends, family together. It did a great job. Everybody had a good time. And if you didn't, I am sorry for that. But it just burns my skin sometimes when I hear people complaining about how this one didn't do that, how this didn't turn out great, this ain't turned out right. Nothing ever does. It's a city facility. We did a great job of putting this on, and the city, I enjoyed myself. I was with Jenny, we got soaked. We all smiled and had a good time. But I was in a dunk tank for 2 hours, and I joined the next day for another hour, and I enjoyed it because I was doing it for the city of Windom and the people who live in Windom and the surrounding communities of Windom. Windom's a great place. So the people that irk my skin is the ones that are complaining about the free stuff and all this other stuff. If you don't want to enjoy it, stay home. Let the people that do enjoy it have a good time. I'm sorry, I'm a little upset about this, but it was one of my pet peeves that people were complaining and putting other managers of the city and employees down. The city didn't have a problem with what happened. It did a good job here, I feel. This is my own personal feeling. I feel they did a great job. Yes, things didn't go great, but nothing ever does. Stuff happens. I want to use the other word, but I can't. But stuff happens. But I do want to say thank you for all the people that did come out and enjoy it, and the staff and the department heads that came out and did a great job. Thank you guys very much. Thank you for listening. That's all I got.
Steve, do you have anything on council comments? Nothing. Okay, so I will start. And first, I like that idea. I feel like we need some friends of the street department. Maybe that would be helpful in getting some of these projects moved along. Secondly, I would like to, kind of going off of what you said, Riverfest was awesome. All of the volunteers, Darcy at the Chamber, which is not directly affiliated with the city, but the city, different departments do help out a lot, and Darcy slayed it. There was a hiccup with the fireworks, and people were really ramming on social media, but really what I learned from that is it's mob mentality, and it just takes one comment to stand up and say, it's not that bad. And I did that on social media, and I saw attitudes change all weekend long. So I think what I learned from that is if you see somebody that just isn't pleased and you want to do something about it, just try to turn it positive, because people typically will follow, and that's just how you, I think, change perspective. You're not going to change everybody's perspective. Someone is always going to be mad, but yeah, but everybody really did a good job. And going back to Riverfest and city street departments, I know there are a lot of departments involved, and I feel like I talk about John a lot, but John, you're the one that I saw and had contact with. And thank you for chauffeuring us in the parade while we got drenched. Yeah, Jim wishes he would have drove faster. I walked, I had a hat on, I didn't fare so bad. I've really felt for my fellow council members. We did have a whole lot of candy to hand out, and it was soaking wet. I should have went not with little tutti fruities, because they all the bucket was full of candy and water. But it was a great time. Many thanks to all of the city departments that offer in-kind services to help out and support Riverfest. The other thing I wanted to say was that Steve and I met with Sean Cable today. He is a meteorologist that covers South Dakota, Iowa, and Minnesota, and he had emailed me to do a one-year follow-up on the flood. So we met him down so he could get some drone footage of Island Park. And when he was saying, you know, here's what I want to know, and it was all city-related stuff of what did the city do during the flood, what have they done different, what have we learned, and as you well know, that is new news to me. So I was very thankful for Steve to come down and share his wealth of knowledge with Sean Cable, because I was heavily involved in that, but not from the city aspect. So to listen to him talk about that was neat, and just update Sean with what's changed since the flood, and also really bittersweet to think back on that. I don't know if everybody's feeling as bittersweet as I am as that 1 year anniversary comes up. I looked back through pictures, and just knowing a little bit about the departments, knowing what they did, wow, I hope we don't ever have to do that again, but nice work then, and a good memory for us to put in the past. But it was awesome to have Sean Cable here. He's a super fun guy, and when that interview comes out, I will post it and link it so we can all watch it. And I think that's all I have. If no one has anything else, then we will adjourn this meeting by unanimous consent.